So over the last few weeks, a few things have inspired today's video, you could say. A couple of weeks ago, I was having a conversation with a dear friend of mine that I've known since I was a kid. And we're talking about the many incredible musicians we've lost just over the last while. And as we were talking about them, kind of naming them, I realized that most of them I've had the great honor of meeting and conversing with for several hours. We talked about that. We were talking about how rough it's been and losing the musicians, and really how the next 10 years or so, it's going to be a lot rougher, since many of the legends from the 50s, they're already gone. And now we're losing many from the 60s and 70s, even the 80s and 90s. I mean, I hope they live forever, but time catches up to all of us. Well, after having that passing conversation with my friend, and realizing that many of those artists that have passed shared incredible insight with me about their life and music and some personal moments, I started watching some of these old interviews, and I don't do that very often. Brian Wilson, who's the father of 60s pop with the Beach Boys, and Chuck Negron of Three Dog Night fame. My dad loved both of those artists. And of course, Ace Frehley, the original guitarist behind Kiss, Mike Peters of The Alarm, and Neil Sedaka, and songwriter Billy Steinberg, and Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down. Gosh, I have been fortunate to interview nearly 800 artists from the rock era and beyond. I've been doing this for the last 12 or 13 years. But man, lately it has been a challenge releasing these personal conversations here on YouTube. I don't know why, but they seem to get lost in a black hole compared to my other videos. And that makes me really sad. So I decided to take a break from posting interviews for a while and just try to figure out another way to do them, or maybe another place to put them, or what I was going to do. I actually announced that on my train interview that I put out last week. And man, I got overwhelming feedback from you that you love these interviews and you want to keep seeing them. So then I was talking to my son, who's in a garage band with his friends from school, and they've asked for my help a little bit, asked for some advice. And they were talking about trying to write original songs, and they played a lot of gigs just doing cover songs. And they were asking some questions about songwriting and song structure and some other things from some of the interviews I've done. And as they were telling me, I was thinking about what I've learned from these artists that I just named that have passed over the last year. And I started sharing those little nuggets of wisdom from the conversations I've had. And I was thinking, you know what? I need to just show them, not tell them. So I took some of those personal moments, and I had my editor put a bunch of these memories together and it showed it to them. Man, they loved it. And they asked even more questions. So I was like, I need to put this out on the channel and share this with you guys. I mean, it's the entire reason I do what I do, why I do what I do. So here are a half a dozen short nuggets and stories, and some of them I've never shown. These are the 7 artists I just talked about that we've lost for the last 9 or 10 months. And some of these are their very last in-depth conversations that they had before they passed. So it's really special. In memoriam of some great guys, some great musicians. Here it is. I hope you enjoy it. Please like, share, and comment. And you know what? Speaking of talking to legends, I'm going to be talking to John Fogerty doing a live, Professor of Rock Live. It's called The Heart of the Artist. And it's like MTV Unplugged meets Inside the Actors Studio. It's a ticketed event. I'll be on stage with John. He'll share stories. He'll share songs. It really becomes this really personal conversation live that you can see. And I'd love to have you there. The link for it is up here or below in the description. And come out and see me. I'd love to see you after and talk, and it'd be a lot of fun. Here's the interview. Rubber Soul came out. I've got a copy of it right here. Rubber Soul came out, and you heard that, blew your mind, and you wanted to write an album of all great material.
Yeah, I went to the piano after I heard Rubber Soul, and I started writing God Only Knows.
Did you consciously plan a concept album, or did you just write songs?
No, we didn't plan it. We just wanted to do an album that had ballads and rockers and, and rock ballads and stuff like that,
A real heart and soul album.
Right, it is a heart and soul album. Yeah.
This is an album that whenever I've gone through anything from happiness to sadness,
right.
This is the album. One of my favorite albums of all time.
Thank you very much.
And many people's. But
very nice of you.
Let me ask you about why Tony Asher? Because he was in advertising. Why did you choose him to write that with?
He said, you have a very, very good gift of gab, I said, would you like to write a song with me? And he said, yeah. So he came over to my house and we wrote God Only Knows. He wrote the lyrics and I wrote the music. We did it in 45 minutes. It came faster than any other song I ever wrote.
God only knows what I'd be without you.
Good Vibrations was inspired by Mike. I played, boom, 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 boom. He goes, hey, what if we said, I'm picking up good vibrations.
If you could give the world a record with one song on each side that define your life, what would they be?
I would put God Only Knows on the one side, and I would put Good Vibrations on the other side.
Spirituality has played such a huge
Right.
part in your music.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Spirituality? Well, I believe that God is music, So when you make music, that's God talking to you.
It's so cool about vinyl is you're always thinking as a group, I'm sure you're thinking about, people see this in a record store, see this flash of, hey, this album cover. And Old-Fashioned Love Song. The three songs I remember most, growing up with, one, and of course, Joy of the World, but Old-Fashioned Love Song always reminds me of my dad, just an old-fashioned, singing it to me, so great.
Just an old-fashioned love song playing on the radio.
Naturally, of course, 1970, one of your biggest records, of course, because one of the biggest songs of all time, Joy to the World, 5 times platinum. I mean, there have only been just under 100 songs that have sold that many copies in the history of popular music. Just amazing.
Now, when I heard, we were working at it. If I hadn't heard the playback of me singing Jeremiah Willard's of Bruford, who knows what would have happened? I might have passed with the rest of the guys. But I knew that was a hit. I knew that line was going to be in everyone's head. It was just too bizarre, and it was coming, hitting you right in the face.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend.
The thing that was so interesting is that you reached out to other people,
Yeah.
You helped other people. You actually, a lot of people don't know this, but you were going to talk to Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, the day he left, and it was the
Tell me
second
about
time
that.
I went down. The first time I went down, he was embarrassed, didn't want to see me.
Yeah.
The second time I went down, and the thing was he only played 4 chords. I went, what are you talking about? That's what he said. Well, he was embarrassed.
Yeah.
So I said, I can't play 4 chords. And anyway, so the second time they said, please come down. He said, I'm having trouble. And I jump in the car, and I head down. And before I get there, the rings, and he goes, he left. I said, well, where is he? Where did he go? So I kind of went down. I went down there and I kind of looked around, but I didn't know where he was, so I didn't find him. So I went home, and 2 days later, killed himself.
Yeah.
So, but that's the dire straits that addicts are in, and people have other problems that drugs make worse. And you get to a point where you just don't think. Here's an example. This I'll say for Kurt. This is an example. I'm going to stop drugs if I get a record deal. I'm going to stop drugs if I get a #1 record. I'm going to stop drugs if I have a child. I can't stop drugs. And some people kill themselves. Although they said he had other issues of depression, and which I know about. I had that too.
People are becoming so much more empathetic about understanding addiction because everybody at some point is addicted to something.
I would say so, yeah.
And we all are human beings, and we're all trying to live our lives and help one another. And so it's great that your book helps so many people. 3 Dog Nightmare.
I'm very blessed, and I'm glad the book helped people because it kicked my butt.
Tell me about Shock Me, one of your greatest guitar solos for sure.
I love that song. It was inspired by me getting electrocuted in Lakeland, Florida when Kiss was on tour. And subsequently, further on down the road, I decided to write a song about it. Getting electrocuted, was the catalyst that made me come up with the song Shock Me.
Shock me, make me feel better.
I think it's a great solo. It's one of my favorite solos. It just happened. Like everything else in my life. I don't plan anything. You know?
Well, Ace, man, what a career. You inspired so many.
My life, when I think back on it, it just seems like a movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem real. I've got guardian angels all around me. I can't explain it. You know, it's just like I don't feel like it's real. I don't really feel like my life. It's just too impossible. When you think about all the possibilities and where I came from, you know, I used to live in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Bronx. You know, we had no money, and here I am. You know, I'm blessed and more blessed. And you know, I say my prayers at night, and I say my prayers in the morning, and that's what gets me through the day. A little exercise, a little of this, a little of that, play a little guitar. Yeah, I just take life one day at a time, like they say in Alcoholics Anonymous, because I've been sober 17 years. And that made a big difference in my life. I just have so much to thank God for, you know, all the gifts he's given me.
That is such a powerful song, and it really resonates with what you were about. I mean, what you've gone through. Mm-hmm. Give me love, give me hope, give me strength.
Well, I think, you know, that song, it was written in at night. We played at Newcastle City Hall on a British tour. And I always shared the room with a guy I referenced earlier, Red Eye, he works with Bob Dylan now. He was my best mate growing up, and he worked with the band. And I was rooming with him, and I woke him up in the middle of the night and said, Red, I've got a song in my head. We've got to go and get some guitars off the bus. And all we had was towels around our waist, rummaging around looking for a guitar. And the police caught us, and what are you two doing just with towels around your waist? And I said, I'm writing a song, and it's like Likely Story. And then one of them had been at the gig and recognized me. And then so they let us go, and I got into the room, and the song was Strength I had in my head.
Give me love, give me hope, give me strength.
To me, they were 3 words that had started creeping in the songs I was writing for the Strength album. And it started happening right at the end of the Declaration album. I wrote a song called Walk Forever by My Side. And it had love, hope, and strength. I need your strength. Well, these are common denominators. They can run through the hard times, and they can run through the joyous times when you're celebrating the love of someone in your life who's helping you to live and move forward. Well, I didn't know why. And the second line, who will be the lifeblood coursing through my veins, when I repeat that line in the 4th verse, I sing, who will donate the lifeblood coursing through my veins. Now why I would change the phrasing, I don't know, but I did. And it was almost as if my life inside my subconscious knew that something was coming. Those words needed to be in my life to help me survive when I was eventually diagnosed with cancer. All of a sudden I started singing the song Strength, and the meaning of the whole song flipped and totally became not just about someone else. I realized it was a song about me. That's the beauty of music. If you know, I see a lot of artists who won't play their music from the past. They think it belongs there and that's it. But if you embrace it and bring it, you can learn so much.
Oh yeah. We're much more idealistic when we're young. We're much more that we can take on the world. We can make it happen. The faith is there. Sometimes you get to the point where there's negativity there. You have to go back to that innocence and remember that you can take on the world.
That's right, exactly. You know,
that youth.
It's really important to still, you are who you are because of what happened in your youth. We can get caught up on regret of what we did and didn't do, or what we should have done. Life sometimes has a way of bringing everything full circle. And as long as you stay open to that fact, you can put everything right in the fullness of time, and no door needs to be closed forever.
We were at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and we heard Casey Kasem, the new #1 by Neil Sedaka.
So it's no small thing when his comeback record hits #1.
And we danced to it and cried.
Written and recorded by Neil Sedaka.
And then I sang at the Troubadour. I sang
Which
at
was
the
a huge deal in that year.
3 nights at the Troubadour.
And there were a lot of people there too. James Taylor.
James Taylor, Andy Williams, Johnny Mathis. Oh my God. Yeah. How am I going to perform in front of all these people?
Such a massive song. I mean, 1975, you were on top of the world. Looking back on your life, your personal life and your career, what are you most grateful for right now?
That I've left something that will outlive me, these songs, that they'll always remember my name as a contribution to American music, that I was one of the few who could write classical and popular music. And I'm grateful for the family. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful that I am a heart person. I'm a softie. I think you can get more bees with honey. And I like to listen to people. I love people. I love to please people. Maybe that's why I'm a performer. And I've been a lucky star. I think I was at the right place at the right time, besides having the talent. You have to be at the right place. And when you're called on to audition, you better have the goods at that moment.
You got to be ready.
You got to have the goods right then, because it might not ever happen again.
When he would get to the title, I had typed there, Like a Virgin, and it just kept not working, and Tom was frustrated, and Tom has a very high voice, and he just started singing falsetto, the lyrics that I had put in front of him. And he was really doing it almost as a joke. And I just went, that's it right there. And then the song kind of wrote itself. And he sang the demo falsetto. And that's what Madonna heard. I often say that some demos, artists stayed very true to those demos, and their records became, they really used the blueprint of the demo. Mm-hmm. And other ones, the artist wanted to reinvent. With Like a Virgin, they obviously liked the blueprint because Nile Rodgers produced the record. Tom Kelly and I weren't involved in any way in the recording sessions for Like a Virgin. But if you were to compare Madonna's record to our demo, they're identical.
She even says the last part that Tom was vibing on there.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah. Even in the background, when Tom Kelly went, Like a Virgin, and just off mic, I went, hey! And that's on our demo. And she even incorporated that. Yeah. So we were happy about it. And then there we were in Tom's living room with headphones on, and it's Tom and me and Roy Orbison. And the track's in our ears, and we're hearing it, and Roy's singing along, and then Roy goes, uh-huh, yeah. And Tom and I looked at each other, and it was like lightning. It was like everything that you live for as a music lover and a songwriter was sort of encapsulated in that moment. That you write something completely as a tribute to your hero, and then there's your hero actually doing it. And it just was magic.
But you guys, it's such a cool story how WCPR FM played your demo. I mean, that's so cool that they played Kryptonite, and that thing was, for 15 weeks or something, it was the most requested song on that radio station. Tell me about that. That's so cool.
It was, man, and it was a blessing. We didn't try to get signed.
Yeah.
And it was, and I say it being a blessing because, bands try so hard to get that break and all. And I mean, not that we didn't want to do it. We tried, we practiced a lot and played shows and would try to get gigs at places that we couldn't, and we'd push it as far as we could. But, we weren't trying to be a major touring band. We just wanted to get our song on the radio. We want our friends to hear it.
So amazing.
It was cool. We went from literally, I was driving a stinking forklift in an electric motor shop, and 2 months later, we were making a record. Well, a month later, we were making a record. 2 months after that, we were opening for Creed, and we were on tour with those guys. And then shortly after that, we were headlining from then on.
Yeah.
Of playing arenas that, I mean, I'd probably been to less than like 15 concerts. It was unbelievable for us because we didn't know any different. And we seen those charts, and we were like, it was so surreal to see your name like not on a chart, but above somebody's name on a chart that you were like, that you'd be in amazement to just see like their name up there somewhere and your name like down here somewhere. And your name was like right there. And it was unbelievable.
Looking back on your life up to this point, both your personal and your career, what are you most grateful for?
I think that I'm most grateful to have been and still be surrounded by people that love me. You know, I'm really blessed to be able to trust the people that are around me and know that my family still loves me just like they did before I started, and they'll still love me after it's over. Yeah. You know, and that's always been something that's important to me, and I'm just really, really thankful. I'm thankful to, you know, I was saying it to somebody the other day. Now I hope to live to be a really old man, but man, if something happened to me tomorrow, if I died tomorrow, man, I've lived more than people get to live, you know? Yeah. And I've been so blessed in my life to do things that people only imagine you get to do. And I'm just really thankful. And I'm thankful to have gotten to do those things. And I'm thankful to be surrounded by people that I know love me.
Make sure to leave us a comment about these legends. Like, share, and comment. Till next time, 3 chords and the truth, my friends.